Week 0 is here. That's not a real thing. That's made up. But what isn't made up is college football, Clint. College football is happening on Saturday. We're talking about it. Georgia's not playing, but that doesn't mean you, as a Georgia fan, shouldn't be paying attention. You should be paying attention to some of these games. We're going to talk about it today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, Locked On Bulldogs, here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, as well as Locked On Atlanta. Hey, want to let you know we thank LinkedIn for being our title sponsor today. LinkedIn, the best place to find the candidates for your team that you need, linkedin.com. Thank you for being title sponsor. Daniel, we are at week 0. It should be week 1. Let's just go with college football kickoff. How about that? I'm just going to start there.
Whatever.
I don't really care.
Here.
And look, here are the things we're going to break down. We're going to tell you why it's important week kickoff to pay attention. And there's a couple of key things you need to pay attention to because college football, this landscape has drastically changed. Y'all, things have changed.
That's right.
College football isn't the same college football as it was from a year ago, mainly because the defending national championship team is not playing yet. And that team is us. So we'll have to wait until we are playing. But we'll let you know about that, as well as talk to you about which games we are most excited for and to talk about some locks for all you degenerates out there like us. But subscribe to the show over on YouTube. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review on audio side, Stitcher, podcast. 5-star rating review is appreciated. So, Daniel, with that being said, college kickoff, Georgia isn't playing, but there's a couple teams of note in the SEC. And when I say a couple, I really mean not a few, not even many. But
when you say of note, specify what you mean by that.
I mean of note as in it might be the longest travel that college football will have this year. That's what I mean. Of note, meaning that the Vanderbilt Commodores are currently, again, the best job in America is the head coach of the Vanderbilt Commodores are over in Hawaii for week kickoff. And this is important, Daniel, for a couple of reasons. And the rest of the college slate we're going to get to. But the reason, Georgia fans, you need to pay attention to this, I'm going to start with this game. We're going to go to some other games. It's because of this. The SEC largely, Daniel, has these tiers. And there's a couple of surprises that pop up every year. And A&M is going to beat Bama. And LSU is going to sneak in there, give them a fight, give them a game. Georgia's going to lose to South Carolina with the third backup who's backing up a graduate assistant who should be coaching. Like these things happen at times. Daniel, here's why you need to watch the Vanderbilt Commodores against Hawaii.
Okay.
If Hawaii puts up a fight against Vanderbilt, if it's a close game, if the Commodores aren't, here's what I'm going to just tell y'all for the rest of the week and then the rest of the SEC season for Vanderbilt. Put in a bye week. I know it's a bye week already for Georgia, but if y'all remember a couple of years ago, we went to Vanderbilt, and it wasn't the high-scoring game that we were anticipating. It wasn't the big blowout game that we were hoping. I remember Zeus gets in for the first time. We're all cheering for him. Daniel and I were in attendance to that game.
We did not assault 2 elderly Vanderbilt fans. Let the record show. They deserved it. They did deserve it.
So this is what I'm saying is watch this game because this is an opponent on our team or on our schedule. And if you're saying to yourself, it's Vanderbilt, I don't need to pay attention to it because you and I, there's a couple of season win total bets. There's a couple of over-unders on Vanderbilt. There's a couple of very, very interesting things of note that you can prepare yourself. If Vanderbilt struggles, go ahead and put the over 50 burger for Georgia way up there on the list. When that spread comes out for Georgia and Vanderbilt, pay special attention. When our over-under comes out for that game, when their under comes out for that game, pay special attention because what I'm telling you is, yes, they traveled, but they're already there. They've been there for a week. It's a hard place to go to. But my gosh, Daniel, there is money to be had at that game, so pay attention to them playing.
Now, listen, this is going to sound weird coming from me. I'm going to stick with Vanderbilt for a second because it's obviously Georgia's first opponent, but or the only opponent Georgia has that's playing in week 0, I should say. I hate the SEC pride that gets demonstrated. I've been on record forever. I hate it. I hope every SEC team loses every game except Georgia. That's how I feel about the SEC. Georgia doesn't need help. They don't need strength of conference. They don't need national media credibility, SEC pride. Okay? Georgia is just fine without it. I don't care about pride in the SEC. So it's going to sound weird coming from me. But look over at Lawrence, Kansas. Okay? Look, I'm going to make a comparison because there's one program in America that is, in terms of college football, most directly compares to Vanderbilt, and it is the University of Kansas.
That's true.
They never win a game. They are the laughingstock of their league. They get blown out in every single contest. Kansas has got some things going on. They hire this Division II coach. He comes in. He's won like 6 national championships at Rapid River University or whatever it's called. I don't know. It doesn't. He comes in there.
I think that was Six Flags where you went to at 6th grade, Daniel.
I knew it was one or the other. He comes in there. All of a sudden, they start playing some close games. They sneak up and get some crazy wins. They beat Texas last year. Clint, I'm not sure if Sark remembers that. Arch Manning remembers that. Kansas is on the ascent, okay? Kansas is moving up. And for the bottom of the conference to elevate,
yes,
is if you're a person that cares about, if you're a person that was arguing with me, it's going to leave a comment about how it's the SEC strength is important to Georgia. If you're that person who's writing that comment as we speak, then you need Vanderbilt to win this game because it's not the top of the conference that elevates the SEC to elite, to unquestioned elite status. It's the bottom of the conference because everybody knows that the top of the SEC is better than any conference in college football. You just have to look at all the national championships that have come through the SEC. It's the bottom of the conference where people go to argue that the SEC, well, if you look top to bottom at the Big Ten, if you look top to bottom, if you take the worst teams in the Pac-12 and put them up against Vanderbilt, they destroy Vanderbilt. It's the bottom of the conference that needs to elevate. And so this is a game Vanderbilt has to win. They have to win this game.
Must. Their season win total is on the line with this one. If they miss this one out, the under is a guarantee.
They're only 8.5 points favorite. So we're going to get to whether you have a lock on that game. It's moved. It's moving. It's constantly moving, which means you need to listen to this next segment so you can jump on the best number now so that you don't get left behind because we're coming back. We're coming back to talk about locks right after this.
But first one about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your place to go to get the candidate that you need to have for your team. Whatever business you're a part of, businesses are back up and operating. They're all across the world. Business is going on. It doesn't slow down, and you need people for your team. So head over right now and put in the promo code Locked On College. It's going to get you the place to go to get every single thing you need for the right candidate. They have amazing screening questions. They have 810 million people worldwide to get through in networks. If you want the right person, LinkedIn's your spot. LinkedIn/Locked On College is going to get you a free posting to your team. LinkedIn. Daniel, we're back giving out locks for this coming week. 0 kickoff week. And Dan, can I just say, look, y'all, I used to live in a state that was just horrible, just awful, because it didn't allow sports gambling to take place. I now live in a state in which fully embraces these sports gambling. So I got all them apps, got all them places. You need to get there right now. BetOnline is our place that Daniel and we like to go. So Daniel, the slate is open. Do you want to start with Vanderbilt, Hawaii?
Let's start with Vanderbilt, Hawaii.
Okay, let's do it.
So the line I'm seeing right now is Vanderbilt favored by 8.5. if you had bet this 2 days ago, Vanderbilt was favored by 6.5. Some places I saw it as low as 6, but these days I'm seeing 8.5. The over/under is 54 in this game. And just to be clear, Clint and I keep track of how we do in these locks. First of all, we put our actual money on these bets.
Literal money.
Second of all, we keep track of how we do over the course of the year. So we're not just throwing out picks willy-nilly here. These are actual picks that we actually believe in. That's why I cannot give you a lock in this game. I'm going to get to a money line parlay in the third segment, and it may or may not involve this game. But I'm not giving you any locks in terms of this game, Clint. But do you have a lock? I suspect you do.
Look, I really, really, really want to take a lock in this game. I really, really do. But, Daniel, I can't. That money line changing all over the place and the point spread changing has gotten me scared. Now I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole, Daniel, because things are going on that I don't really like. And Vanderbilt, it's just scaring me.
Vanderbilt's going to start a freshman, young kid QB, first start on the road in Hawaii. There's going to be thousands of people there, maybe, at least hundreds of people.
Are you sure?
If not,
are you sure?
They've got a brand new stadium. They're kicking it off. Timmy Chang is the coach of Hawaii, Clint. Are you aware of this? Do you remember old Timmy Chang?
Oh, I remember, Daniel.
Yeah. Timmy Chang's now the coach of Hawaii. Look, he's going to be pitching it all over the yard. The place is going to be not hostile in terms of SEC, but it's going to be hostile. I cannot give out a lock in this game. I got nothing.
I can't do it. I wish I could, Daniel, but no, I can't.
Right.
Is there a game you do a lock on?
Give the people a lock, Clint.
Okay, here's the deal.
Where are you going to go?
I'm going to go. Daniel, this is going to sound so unimpressive. This is going to sound so absurd. The rest of these games, let me just give you the slate of games. UConn, Utah State, Idaho State, UNLV, Nebraska, Northwestern, Wyoming, Illinois. I mean, we're getting down to Nevada and New Mexico State.
North Texas plays Utah. Charlotte plays Florida Atlantic. I mean, there's plenty of games. Clint.
But I'm gonna encourage you to go a little outside your zip code. Oh, maybe even a little outside your international calling plan. Oh. And I want to take you to Dublin, Ireland, and I'm going to take you to Nebraska at Northwestern.
This is the marquee game of the day.
This is the one that people want to hear. This is what we want to talk about. And look, here's the deal. Northwestern's a horrid team.
Sure.
Nebraska.
No, say more.
Nebraska, a horrid team.
Thank you.
But here's the difference of these two horrid teams. One has got transfer talent coming in Nebraska. One has a coach who is literally, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. He is coaching. He is on the line for his head coaching future. If he can't make it happen at his alma mater with all the things that he's ever wanted, this guy ain't doing a head coaching gig again in his life. So Scott Frost has got something. Y'all, take Nebraska and give the points today, now, here. Give me Nebraska.
Nebraska minus 13. That is a strong play.
It's a strong play.
As a strong play. I cannot get on board with that. It's too many points for me. Check back at the end of the show, Moneyline Parlay. We might talk about this game as well. But this is obviously the game people are going to be having their eyes on. And if it's not that game, Clint, I'm going to take you to my strongest play of the week.
Okay.
Everybody wants to see UConn and Utah State tee it up. That's what everybody's waiting for.
There's two interesting storylines to this game. I'm not going to lie.
There are some interesting storylines to this game brought to you by the Weldon brothers. But I'm going to tell you that the most interesting storyline of this game is that everyone knows UConn is one of the worst teams in college football. Okay?
Red.
Everyone knows that. What people don't know, because they still remember, what was that quarterback's name for Utah State that got drafted by the Packers?
Love.
Yeah. Jordan Love. What people don't know is that Utah State is also very, 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 listen to me, Alabama fans, very, very, very bad. Like, very bad. I just caution you, Weldon brother.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Please don't do it next week.
Don't do it. Next week, don't do it. Listen
I mean,
to
it's
me.
a lot of points. I understand,
but
it's a lot
don't
of
do
points,
it.
But
okay, give me UConn plus the 27. Clint, I love this play. I love UConn in this spot plus the 27. Again, there's Utah State should not be favored by 27 points over any team in the country. And the reason you can trust me saying that is because I'm betting on maybe the last team in the country that I would pick plus 27. Yes. And I think it's a stone cold lock. I think UConn has a chance to keep this thing within 3 touchdowns. But I think at worst, you're looking at a 24-point situation. I don't think it gets more than that. Give me UConn plus the 27, and I'm going to suffer through that entire game. There's a good chance after the first quarter they're down by 21, and I have to sweat the rest of the game. But I still feel good. I still feel like UConn's going to cash.
Okay, here's the deal. We are doubling up on this bet. So signed, sealed, delivered. Give me Nebraska minus the points. Give me UConn plus the points. And it comes down to this. This is it. UConn might be the worst team in all of America.
But they're not. We're going to talk about them next.
We're going to look. They're on the slate as well. They might be. It's just like every single time Georgia is favored by 40 points. Guess what? I don't touch that game. Do you know why? Because you never know what all them points against a bad team. That's the difference in this. So yes, we're going to double up on that bet. We're going to come back and we have some more locks for you in segment 3. So get over on BetOnline and then also take our bets right after this.
All right, Clint. I'm going to go.
Are you going to go to the worst team?
I teased it. I'm going to go to the actual worst team.
Yeah.
In college football. I'm already taking UConn plus the points.
You might as well keep it going.
So why not double up and give me New Mexico State plus 9 at home against Nevada? Now.
Okay.
Nevada,
you got some explaining to do.
Nevada is the team that I was thinking of earlier who had Love playing at quarterback, I believe, right? Is that's the team that had the kid that was drafted by the Packers, not Utah State.
No, I think there was another kid.
Love played at Utah State. Nevada also had a quarterback. What was his name?
He got drafted pretty high by maybe the Pats or something like that. He had a can of an arm. I forget what his name.
Colin Kaepernick was his name.
Well,
that was his name.
There's that was a long time.
That's the Wayback Machine.
That was a Wayback Machine.
It doesn't matter.
No.
New Mexico State, the worst team in America, but they're at home and they're playing Nevada. Nevada, a team that also in years past has had some pedigree, has had some credibility. They are not any good this year. Nevada's not going to be a good football team whatsoever this year, and they're going on the road to New Mexico State. New Mexico State is not going to be single-digit underdogs in very many games this year. They're going to be underdogs in every single game this year.
Literally. They're
not going to be single digits in very many of them. They do not have very many opportunities to win a football game. I think New Mexico State could win this football game, Clint.
Holy jeez.
So you're going to give me plus 9? I'll take it. New Mexico State plus the 9.
All right, I got one more lock for this week kickoff slate. And Daniel, it's another doozy of 2 teams. I was pretty high on one team last year. I was pretty high on Wyoming last year.
You were?
I thought they were going to show out, maybe sneak up on some teams.
Yes.
It turns out the only other franchise in America that was with me on love of Wyoming is the Atlanta Falcons, who decided that a linebacker project was better than the Cody Dean.
Please stop.
So look, we all make mistakes. We all make choices.
That's correct.
Daniel, Illinois got some things going.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot.
Yes.
But some. Wyoming is bad. This game is at Illinois. Illinois is not going to be a good team at all this year. But, Daniel, I am laying the points and taking the Fighting Illini against Wyoming because this is, again, I'm just going to go with what I know. And I don't know who's good yet, but I do know who's bad so far. That's the New Mexico States of the world. That's teams, again, UConn should not be favored to win any games, but they shouldn't lose by that many because the other team is so bad. I need to take the Illini because I think Wyoming is just that bad. They've had talent on the roster, and the roster is now depleted because of draft and other things. So give me Illinois.
I don't hate this, and I'll just use it as an opportunity to segue into my moneyline parlay because that's my moneyline parlay. It's Nebraska, Illinois, Vanderbilt. You give me those three teams on the money line. I do not like any of them against the spread. But you give me those three teams, Nebraska, Illinois, Vanderbilt on the money line. That gets you almost to even money in terms of those odds. That's the bet right there. I do not see any of those three teams losing this game. Vanderbilt might mess around and keep it close. Maybe. Nebraska might mess around and keep it close. I think you're absolutely right on the Illinois. I think Illinois is going to roll over. I think Brett Bielema is the most formidable coach out of all those coaches of those teams. Yes, sir. And so he's the guy I trust the most. So I don't hate that play minus the 11, but I love the money line parlay of Nebraska, Illinois, and Vanderbilt. Two other games that are interesting to me, Clint. Okay, I'm not going to bet on them because I don't know what kind of a degenerate you would have to be to bet on them. They're both on the ACC network, and they are Florida State and North Carolina. Florida State plays Duquesne, and North Carolina plays Florida A&M. Now, neither team is going to struggle in either of these games. No. But these are two teams I think you want to see them play. Like, what is North Carolina going to be this year with the new quarterback situation, Mac Brown, trying to rebuild that offense? What are they going to be? North Carolina goes to App State next week, and check back in week 1 locks, but I'm going to be very interested in that North Carolina App State game in week 1. So I want to see North Carolina in this game. And then Florida State, Duquesne, obviously, what is Florida State going to be? What are they going to look like on offense? Yes. What's the quarterback situation going to be?
Because they have a couple games later on the season against Miami, against Florida, that are going to be very, very potentially high betting games. If they do well, if Florida State's kind of bounce back season, all of a sudden a lot of interest on those games.
Absolutely. So those are two games I'm interested in. I'm not touching either one of them. You can't even find lines for some of these games out there. But week 0 is here. It's real football, and we are inching ever closer to Georgia, Oregon in the Mercedes-Benz. We will be back tomorrow, and we'll be back all week next week breaking down that week 1 matchup against Oregon with you. We'll have our thoughts. We'll have our official predictions next week on the show, and enjoy the first weekend of college football, and we will see you guys later.
See ya.